Okay, so Poolish day one. You want 275 grams of flour. Let's pop that in there. You want 0.25 grams of yeast, and really that's not that much. That's probably too much, but about that much. Pop that in, and then 225 ml of water at about 26, 27 degrees, so just above room temperature. Pop that in, and then just mix it up. And it should kind of come together in like a shaggy sort of dough. But it's not going to be amazing. It's not going to be like a workable dough. It's just going to come together. And here it is, kind of brought together. You can see that it's just like a shaggy mess. It's not. There's no kind of like refinement here. It's just literally just the water, the dough, the flour, and the yeast brought together. And I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna leave this in the fridge for a little bit because it's quite warm. And then after a couple of hours, I'm gonna take it out, probably like 9, 10ish, and just leave it on the side overnight with a cloth over it, and that's it. So, Poolish day 2. So I left my Poolish in the fridge for a little bit, and then took it out before I went to bed, and put like a cloth over the top of it. As you can see, it's gone a little crusty. I think if I were going to do it again, I'd probably put like cling film just down here, over on the surface. But I'm sure this is not going to be a problem, because it's all gonna just mix in and disappear. Yeah, little crusty. So what you want to do? You get 300 grams of flour. I'm using like whole grain flour, so it's going to be a bit of a mix. You want 12 grams of salt. Pop that in there. And then you want 2 grams of yeast. It's, again, hard to tell. My scales start measuring it like 3 grams. So who knows if this is the right amount, but it kind of looks, it's like a healthy teaspoon's worth. So pop that in there, mix that up. Make sure that's incorporated there. And then you want 154 ml of warm water this time. So it's about 40 to 41 degrees C. So it's well above room temperature. You pour this into here. This helps loosen the pre-ferment up. And then you go, let's skip to that. Okay, so that's loosened this up nicely. And then what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to add this to this. But I've done it the wrong way around. This is the bigger bowl. That's the smaller bowl. That'd be a nightmare. So I'm just going to pop this in here. And what you do is mix it up with your hands. So something like this. And squeeze it. Get it all incorporated. I'll see you after the pause. So here I'm just moving it around, kind of crushing it together. It's going to be a little difficult to kind of fully incorporate because all the moisture's in that Poolish. But all of this dusty stuff, like it will eventually incorporate. And I'll show you what it looks like once it. Okay, here we go. So it's kind of it's incorporated now. It's all come together, but it's not perfect. It's not perfectly smooth. It's not all completely incorporated into one kind of like smooth ball. You still got little bits of dry patches. It's not. It's like, this is what they keep. It's like a shaggy dough. Here at this point, you don't really need to be that like fussed. You can kind of get away with this. I would be tempted to put a bit more. I would have been tempted to put a bit more water in, but this is actually going to be fine. You want to get like all the stuff off around your bowl, and then you're just leaving it. I believe you leave it for 20 minutes, and yeah, I'll see you again then. You've left it for 20 minutes, and now we want to start building the gluten in the dough. So here we have what is essentially still a shaggy mess. What you want to do is you want to get some water, because you're going to get your hands in there, but you don't want it to stick to your hands. You get a bunch of water, and this is when you do the stretch and fold. So you get your hands in the water, and what this is quite good for is this adds a little bit more hydration to the dough as you go. So if it's a little underhydrated, it's quite useful. You get your hands moist, and then you just grab a bit, and you pull. And you can feel it. There's a point where it starts to tear. What you want to do is you want to stop just before that, and then fold it in. So pull and fold. And you're doing this 6 to 8 times. You can just give it a wiggle, and as just before it starts to tear, you fold it over. So that's 3. All right, 4. And what you're going to do is you just kind of like pay attention to the texture of the dough, and you'll see it start to change. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to leave it for 20 minutes, and then we're going to do it again. We're going to do this for like about 3 or 4 times. So you want to do it about 60 minutes to like an hour and a half of doing this until you find that it's reached the right consistency. One more. Give it a fold. All right, and now we just cover it again. Leave it for 20 minutes and repeat. You're going to do that for the next 60 minutes to hour and a half. It's now been, for me, it's been about 1 hour, 20 minutes. So this is the last stretch and fold. You can always go another 20 minutes and do it one more time if you don't feel like it's like formed enough gluten. But yeah, same as usual. You just go under, you grab a bit, you fill it up, and you'll see that it's quite a lot different now. Like the structure has like really formed inside it, so you can really go quite a lot further now. You fold that in. I think early on it's quite easy to get a bit like frustrated because it doesn't really stick and it starts kind of coming apart a little bit. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. But after a while, it forms the gluten, and then you give it time to kind of relax in between, like 20 minutes. It lets the structure relax a little bit, and then you're forming some gluten. This happens, it kind of comes apart. It's not really one cohesive blob all the time. You can just like press that in a little bit. What we're going to do after this is I'm just going to let it rest. So it's got like 2 more proofing periods after this. So it's got one for about 2 hours. The first one, and that's pre-shaping it. So after I do this, I'm just gonna pop it on its like the creased sides. You see it's coming apart, but that's no real biggie. All right, so let's give it one more stretch. Get all those creases in the bottom. All right, one more stretch. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And you see it's not tearing at this point. It's like really holding together. The stretches and folds you've done building gluten. So now just the crease side down. You get like a nice smooth thing on the top. And you leave it for about 2 hours. But it's temperature dependent. It's quite warm in the minute. And I imagine it's just going to get warmer, certainly for us here. This one's not too critical, but about 2 hours. The second proof is when you really got to kind of like make sure it's not overproofed. So I'm going to put my cloth/shirt over the top and come back to it in 2 hours. Here we go. Been proving for about 2 hours, and what you can see here is it's really kind of like built up. It's got quite a lot of size to it, so that's really good. It's about doubled in size. We don't need to worry about checking to see if it's overproofed or anything at this point. It's just been proving. So what we're going to do now is we're going to shape it. So you want to get it out of here. Right, and we're also going to get rid of some of the air in it, but that happens just in the shaping process. I should have put some flour on the surface. I'll do that now. not too much, because you want some surface tension. Right, so you grab a bit, you pull it out and over onto the other side, and you push it down. And you do the same over here. Grab another bit, over to the other side, push it down, and you keep doing that. You keep going round and round, pulling it out. All right, so my dough, I can tell already that I haven't built the structure well enough. It's okay, but it's kind of tearing a little bit. It may also have something to do with the flour I've used, the wholemeal flour. So that's kind of like, you formed like a creasy bottom at the bottom here, and this is your top. So now what you want to do is take like the bottom of your hand like that, and you pull towards you, and that stretches this out, and then you turn it 90 degrees, pull towards you. So you're just constantly doing that. You do that a few times, and you let the kind of like the friction of the dough drag itself underneath itself. Do that a few times. Get like a nice tight outer layer. Well, you can overdo this, but I shouldn't worry too much about that. I've got some water here just in case I needed to like, because if you use too much flour, there's not enough friction. So you can put a little bit of water down, but it seems to be working quite well. Okay, so we're about there. The water's also got another use. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some sesame seeds on the top. So grab the bottom. Here's the bottom with the crease. Get the top slightly damp. There we go, nice and damp. And then pop it in and you roll it around. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some more on that. And just anywhere that you've missed, get that nice and covered. All right. And now you've got an option. You've got like a number of options. You can put it in a bowl, what have you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it straight on the cooking tray that I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this into the oven. So I'll just put that straight on. There's some flour down, and I'm going to pop the bowl back on top. I'm going to put that back on top with a slight gap so air can come in. And now you leave that for about 60 to 90 minutes. Okay, so final stage. We have proofed, final proof. And what you're looking for here is when you poke it, it comes back up but not all the way. You don't want it to come all the way to the top. If it completely goes back to where it was, then it needs a little bit longer. If it sinks and it doesn't rise up at all, then it's overproofed. So at this point, I'm poking it, it's coming back most of the way, but not all the way. So what you need to do is you need to now get like a really, really sharp knife, like the sharpest knife you've got. I'm going to score it. It's just one strong, confident, fluid motion. And you want to cut about 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch into it. And this gives it room to like expand. So I'm going to give it a nice slash here. That's one. Another one over here. 2. Another one across there. 3. And there. And then you can always go into the middle, the very bottom of your score, like right in the middle, and get that slightly deeper. What? There we go. All right, so that's now scored. I'm ready to go in. So I've got my oven is preheated. It's ready to go. It's at about 230, 250, something like that. I'm going to put it in. Here we go. Here's my pan preheating. I'm going to bring that forward. So that there. Chuck this in. Pull this out and pop the ice in. That's the ice. In we go. And we'll see that in about half an hour. What you can do is you can do it at like 250 for 15 minutes and then drop it down. Like drop it down to like 180, or just do it for the full like half an hour at 250.